energy is the Temperance and the Devil. Now, I don't normally read 2 cards for the day, but 2 cards insisted on coming out, and so I will honor that. So, for some of you, there is a strong tie to a Sagittarius or a Capricorn or someone with a combination of both. And either of these signs may be their sun, their moon, or their rising. If not, let's talk about Temperance first. Some of you, maybe this is about, trying to find the right mix in a situation. Whether you are at odds with someone, whether you're compatible, or something that you're putting together, whether you can bring it into some kind of balance. This may be some form of creativity, artistry, cooking. It may even be your own physical body chemistry. And this is a card that indicates trying to find the middle ground, trying to find some kind of compromise that may, take the place through mediation or arbitration. It could be the intervention of providence or a third party. But there's a focus on blending something, reconciling differences, tolerating the differences of other people. And so, there may be something connected to timing today, finding the right time, not procrastinating, finding the right moment for something. And of course, Temperance allows for forgiveness, for accommodation, for adapting to something. Trying to see something through a clear lens with the absence of prejudice. And so you want to have a balanced viewpoint today. You're looking for the middle course. Now, on the other end of the spectrum is this Devil card, some kind of restriction, some kind of negative thinking or an unhealthy attachment, perhaps an oppressive situation, an unhappy choice, a refusal to leave a bad situation. So maybe you're trying to make peace with something where you feel stuck or confined, or both of these cards have a commonality in excess, knowing when you're reaching limit, when you may be going too far, pushing a boundary. And so for some of you, there's a focus on an addiction, an obsession with power, sex, or money. Some kind of uncontrolled passion or hang-up where you may be giving in to some kind of powerful urge. So, for some of you, there's this excessive worry about money, or maybe you're being very miserly. There's a restrictive hold on something. And perhaps you're seeking the middle ground between going too far or not going far enough. The devil drives up fears and insecurities about being exploited, the willingness to want to step out there and do something or help, but the fear that once it's made known that, you're capable of doing this, then the person may start looking for you to do that. And so this is a day where you're trying to compromise something, but you're dealing with some kind of hold, delay, or restriction. Now, it may be tied to an obligation that you can't get out of, or it may tie to a parent or your role as parent. It may tie to the past, some kind of long-standing chronic condition. It may tie to an ex. So for some of you, this is a day where you really have to, put things out on the table. Maybe you've been holding back, or you feel like you've been held back from due to some kind of restrictive influence. And today is the day where you really need to initiate that frank, open discussion. It's likely that you're not going to agree on everything, but today you've got to find that middle ground, and you've got to do it without putting your relationship at risk. So it means careful communication, knowing just the right words or the right delivery so that a person doesn't feel as if you're pushing them in a particular direction or judging them. But clearing the air today gives you some kind of peace of mind. Now, the downside is that there's a very strong temptation to stay chained to a circumstance or people that are wrong for you. And doing so by selling yourself that propaganda that you're doing it because of A, B, and C, that it's for the sake of other people, or whatever excuse you're coming up with to bolster the reason why you're participating. But it's a day that says you need to come to terms with the truth of your relationship or circumstance. If it's a bad situation or a negative relationship, it's just that. Maybe you've fallen into the habit that is convenient, or you found a reason not to push yourself to the next level. You're making an excuse for not making the most of yourself, or you're not really using your talents the way that you should or that you could. For some of you, you're trying to heal. There's something, perhaps a chronic, long-standing physical situation that makes it difficult for you to heal. Maybe you can't relax, or you can't sleep, or there's something annoying, or you got a rash. Whatever it is, it's troublesome. Some of you are dealing with some kind of heavy obligation or burden, and maybe you're taking that on because of, again, whatever reason that you're telling yourself. Others of you, this is about some form of addiction. Maybe you're having difficulty with abstaining from drink, or maybe you spend too much money, or maybe you're not very discriminate about your alliances. So today is about focusing on your determination to survive. Maybe you're trying to get your way in a situation, and you're convincing yourself or others that there's a good reason, because today says you've got this silver tongue. You can talk anybody into anything, including self, if it suits that agenda, if it serves your purpose. So this is a day where self-control is a big theme, protecting yourself against the temptation that is going to prove more challenging than you expect. Today, your instincts, emotionally, materially, for gain are very strong. And those instincts and urges can lead you in any direction, right or wrong. So now, if you're on top of things, maybe, a couple of strokes of luck occur for you today that allow you to overcome some kind of challenge. Maybe you have these flashes of creativity, some ingenious ideas that save you in just the nick of time. But today is a warning about pushing your luck just a little bit too far, rather than working through a situation appropriately. And if so, the devil has come calling. So today you need to keep your common sense and keep that enthusiasm in check, and that optimism about what you can and can't do. Remember, this is about, again, extremes, going too far or not far enough. So you need to really determine, whether you're taking on more than you can handle, and whether your desire for personal recognition or achievement is allowing you to accurately perceive the merits, the intentions, and the motivations of others. Because today there's a strong susceptibility to procrastination, taking foolish risks or chances, or behaving in a way that undermines and serves to do more harm than good. It may be this desire to be loved, to be needed. It may be a sexual desire, or the desire to be in service to others that you're having to balance against the fear of being used, or that others will expect too much of you. So there's the temptation to push yourself beyond your limits. Maybe you're looking at something that is simply a no-win situation and you need to let it go. Maybe you're just not compatible in a relationship or a circumstance and you need to release it. In any case, this is a day where you have to look at how you may be hurting yourself based on some past conditioning that keeps you in bondage. It's a pattern that you self-perpetuate Perhaps because, you haven't come to terms with yourself. You're unable to curb an appetite or an instinct. Maybe you love too much, give too much, engage too much. So there's some kind of compulsive activity. But at the root of everything is having a sense of decency, having some kind of integrity, because a misjudgment means that you're vulnerable in moving in the wrong circles and in the wrong direction.